I met Tom at my friend Amy's wedding. She married Tom's oldest brother, John. We dated for about 4 years, and we decided to get married in Atlanta, Georgia, since that's where I grew up. It was just such a great day. We had a ton of friends and family fly down from New York, and his friends in the Army came in from all over, and we had been together for so long, and there everybody's like, it's about time you guys are married. So it was such a great day, though. We moved up to New York because Tom had gotten a position as a TAC officer at West Point. So we lived right on post. About 2 years into our marriage, we found out we were having twins. Maggie and Brody were born at West Point. He was just such a great dad. He took them everywhere.
Tom Kennedy was my son's West Point classmate, and so I met Tom through Chris early on. They lived with their families about 4 doors apart.
We lived on the same street together. Chris and Julie Dempsey, Tom and Cammie, Susie, my wife, and I, and a couple other close friends.
The kind of tight-knit community that is West Point, people would gather. And it was in that environment where we first met Cammie and the twins.
I describe it as living in the 50s. Every day all the dads got up and went to work about the same time. Nobody locked their door. 2-3 nights a week, we'd end up grilling in somebody's backyard.
And the kids would run around and play, and it was just such a great moment in time. Once we got to Colorado, Tom right away had to go into training because the unit he was deploying to was already in Afghanistan. The night before he was leaving, he had to meet at the airport about 4 o'clock in the morning. He wanted to give the kids their baths, feed them dinner. That was his favorite part of the day. We didn't wake them up, when he was leaving. I remember he went out the front door and he turned around and he said, "This is the hardest thing I've had to do." He said the other deployment was easier. He said, but now kids are involved. And he walked away. And that was the last time I saw him.
My name is Florent Groberg. I am an Army captain, retired. I served for 7 years. In early 2012, I was selected by, at the time, Colonel Mingus, now General Mingus, to run his personal security detail. We're going to deploy to Afghanistan, and we're going to plan the boss's trips. Occasionally, we had different individuals that would join us, and that's exactly what happened on August 8, 2012. August 8th is the Kunar Provincial Security meeting with Governor Wahidi. But the night before, I'll never forget Major Gray coming up to me with Tom Kennedy. Hey, Flo, this is TK, and he's just got here in country a couple weeks ago, and he wants to go with us to listen in on the security meeting and then go meet his men at Fob Joyce. And our mission was, get to the security meeting, which was about a 10-minute walk. We had done it half a dozen times this tour. There was a little bridge that we had to cross. We're walking, we're about to get to the bridge, and 2 motorcycles come around a curve in front of us. The Afghan National Army soldiers raised his rifle and started screaming at the guys, and they dumped their bikes and started running away. And that's when I saw this man parallel to our patrol, and then he cuts into our patrol. This guy's a threat. And when he cut, I was towards him. He never looked at me, kept moving forward. I got to him, I hit him with my rifle, right in the chest, as hard as I could. There was something really wrong when I hit him in the chest because I felt I hit something. I grabbed him, and that's when I realized he's got a vest on. I said bomb, pushed him as far as I could, and I threw him. Then he let go of something out of his hand, and he detonated, and it all went black.
When Tom was killed, I was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff by that time. Deanie and I actually met Tom's remains when they came back from Afghanistan with the family, with both Tom's family and with Cammie's family. And to this day, when people say, what's the hardest day of your time as chairman, that was it. They call it a dignified transfer because they come back in a transfer case, not in a coffin. The entire procedure from beginning to end is completely scripted so that the flag and the fallen are honored. And the families are grieving but not fully believing that this has happened because they haven't seen anything yet. And then the aircraft taxis up. The aircraft taxis up, the back drops, out comes the case, and the family for the first time understands that their life has changed. And we were there when Tom came back. And as I said, the most difficult day of my 41-year military career.
When we got to Dover to be there for when Tom came off the plane. It's very surreal. You never think this is gonna happen to you. And you're just like, this can't be it.
He was one of very few close friends that I had, and I was just devastated.
Tom and Seth were very close, and Seth asked me if he could be the one to help us escort Tom's body from Dover up to West Point.
I said, Cammy, I have to do this, if you'd let me that honor. And she said she would, which meant the world to me, so I was able to bring him back down to West Point.
West Point was just such a special place to us. He graduated from West Point. We were stationed here for 4 years. Our children were born here. Tom's funeral was the cadet chapel. It was standing room only with people outside as well. Everybody was just in shock, but it was just such an amazing outpouring of love for Tom.
When a survivor, and that's what these young women, and in some cases young men and children are, when these survivors get over the grief, they've got to live their lives.
When all of this happened, the kids were 3 weeks shy of their 2nd birthday. Unfortunately, I'm not the only one that this has happened to, and that's the sad part, is there are so many children out there that have lost a parent. We were coming up on the 1st anniversary of Tom's death. What can we do to get everybody together to have a good day, to remember Tom on the 1st anniversary of his death? Tom loved to play golf. Why don't we have like a golf outing? People can go, have fun.
Cammy decides to have this golf tournament, which was brilliant, really, because it's here at West Point, a place you love.
It's okay to laugh and remember and tell funny stories on that day. It does not have to be a sad day. We had an amazing turnout. People loved it. So we're like, okay, what can we do to help other military families? I know this is something that Tom would want, and a friend of mine came to me and said, hey, have you heard of Children of Fallen Patriots? So I did some research. I'm like, you know what? This is exactly something that Tom would get behind. And we decided to donate all of our proceeds to Children of Fallen Patriots.
It's one of the first things that goes on the calendar. It has brought in people far and wide.
Everybody that I have dealt with at Children of Fallen Patriots has been just so great. I've talked to so many people on the phone in the office, and everybody just got behind us with this.
TK! See you next year!
There are people out there that really do care about you and care what happens and understands your story.
The average age of these kids are so young who've lost a parent.
Our whole world has been turned upside down. It's such a comfort to know that this is available.
He represents what America is all about. He changes lives. It really does.
I've seen the great work that the foundation does, so we've got to keep at it.
Something does happen to me. Children of Fallen Patriots Foundation, I'm going to make sure that my children are taken care of.
A heartfelt thank you to Children of Fallen Patriots. This foundation is doing such amazing things for me and for so many other families out there.